So, hey, Jen, I am so excited about that sweatshirt that you have on. Can you tell all of our viewers and listeners exactly how they can get one and how can they be a part of Christmas is Not Canceled?
Yeah, they can just go to christmasisnotcanceled.com. Check out our merchandise. All of it supports children in need. Join camp. Give a backpack to a child who is experiencing foster care, and let's change the world together.
I love that. So again, everybody, go to christmasisnotcanceled.com and you be a part of camp, because there is nothing better than going to camp with your friends. Take care. Welcome to the Fostering Change Podcast, Season 3. I'm Rob Scheer, the founder of Comfort Cases and your host. Together, we have made such a difference in the world. We've met with leaders and change makers in the foster care system. We've met with charities and philanthropists, celebrities, authors, and so much more. We'll continue to bring you guests who will share how together as a community we can bring about change. Welcome once again to Fostering Change. Well, here we are, another episode of Fostering Change. What a crazy summer this has been already. The traveling has been a little crazy for me, but you know what? I always say, if I have an opportunity to talk about kids, to go anywhere that's going to affect and change the way we are looking at our children who are in our foster care system, or just children in general, I'm going to make that opportunity happen. And you know what? I am so excited about my next guest. I say this sometimes, it's very, very easy to do this job because so many of my guests have become actually my friends. And I truly do consider this next guest my friend. I met Jodi Grinwald a while back and we just clicked. We immediately clicked. And I knew that there was going to be an opportunity for us to not only do things together, but I definitely wanted to have her on Fostering Change. So without any further introduction, Jodi, welcome to Fostering Change.
Thank you so much, Rob. And I feel the same exact way as you do. We did become friends from meeting through Dennis. So I'm so excited that happened.
Yes, so am I. So am I. Now, you're the founder of Zzak G, Applaud Our Kids Foundation. Is that correct?
I'm the co-founder and CEO, yes.
Yes. So tell our listeners and our viewers exactly what is this foundation?
So the Zzak G Applaud Our Kids Foundation was founded in honor of my dad, who was unable to take vocal lessons as a young child because he couldn't afford to. And it was his biggest regret when he finally took his first lesson in his mid-30s to find out he was an operatic tenor and he was an operatic tenor and he wasn't able to do what he loved more, right? He had a family at that point and really couldn't afford lessons until he got way older. But it was a big regret for him on his deathbed, actually, that he didn't get to connect with the audience more. So my sister and I decided there should never be a child out there who, financial constraints should not limit creative expression. And that was so important to my dad. And he needed that creative expression as a child. He had a lot of challenges as a child. And so we want to be there to support those kids who financially cannot support the arts, but feel the calling and the need to connect to it as a creative outlet for them. It really is a lifeline, not an extra. So we fund 100% of their lessons if they meet the financial needs requirements. We place them in performing arts studios close to their home. So we're supporting also local businesses as well. And they can stay with us for up to 15 years where we will fund them. We background check every studio. They're placed where they really need to be, whether if they're on the spectrum, they have an exceptional need that they need to have, really cultivated for them. We place them in the right place. And then we follow them and track them. And we have kids with us now. We're 5 years old and we have kids with us all 5 of those years.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing. I have to tell you, as a kid who grew up in the system, the arts was my escape. When I was in the drama club at school, or when I did music, it was my actual escape. And the sad part is as you said, I was one of those kids that could not afford, to do anything outside of what the school curriculum actually offered us. And I see that quite often with kids in foster care, where, they're not able to do that. It reminds me of my friend. I have a friend, Shireen Callister. She actually was on The Voice, and she's performed at our event. She grew up in foster care, but, same situation where, hear this beautiful, beautiful voice, and she had to wait until she was in her 20s for someone to listen to it because she didn't have the opportunity as so many of the kids do have. Now, you're based in New Jersey, is that correct?
We are based in New Jersey. We started in Ocean County funding kids who met the financial needs requirements, but now we fund anywhere in New Jersey, and we have 9 counties in the state that we now support. But if a child from anywhere in New Jersey reaches out to us, we are there to support them. But we also, Rob, I'll just share too, is that there are kids that don't have transportation to go to these programs because of their situation. So now we're placing teachers and funding teachers to go into the Salvation Army. Like in Newark, New Jersey, we placed a piano teacher, and they're teaching kids in that program. We work with Big Brothers Big Sisters and Boys and Girls Clubs. We place teachers in Boys and Girls Clubs as well to teach dance or acting or singing. But we also do music instruction, and I should also mention, we provide every resource they need. They need a drum set, we give them a drum set. They need dance shoes, we give them dance shoes. Everything is free.
Wow. The fact is that you've been doing this for 5 years, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And that you have been able to impact so many kids. And now that you're partnering up with, organizations like CASA and, Boys and Girls Club, which, we are huge supporters at Comfort Cases of Boys and Girls Club. It just shows me that, if you truly look at your community, there should never be a word saying never, because here you have shown an opportunity. Because, by the way, Boys and Girls Club, I mean, the kids that go to Boys and Girls Club definitely seem like the kids that could fall under this particular program. And now that you're going right into the club where there's no, so many times I hear all these excuses of why, Johnny can't play soccer, he's in foster care because I can't get him there, or Susie can't go to voice lessons or piano lessons because I can't get her there. You're actually coming to them, so there is one more of those hurdles they don't have to cross.
Absolutely. And that was the thing. We started to hear, and that was not how we started at all, to be honest. We wanted to place kids where there was no difference in their financial backgrounds. We didn't want them to see that, so that the kids don't know who's funded, right, within the class. But then we all of a sudden started getting phone calls where they didn't have the transportation. So then we had to find the hubs where the kids were coming together after school so that we could, support them in some way. And that's how now we've grown into that pillar. We are evolving as we see the needs. So where we are right now, in the next year, we may be adding another pillar, because we know that there's so much need out there. And the stories, Rob, that we have received from how these lessons, we had a 7-year-old who unfortunately found her father dead of a heroin overdose. Horrible, horrible situation. And she was taking dance lessons through us. And she's the one who found him. And then we get a call, because her mother's in jail, and we get a call from the grandmother with the little girl crying, saying, please tell Jodi and Melissa not to take my dance lessons away. It's all I have left. That is when we knew that what we created was way more than a dance lesson or a vocal lesson. This is an extended family and a lifeline for these kids.
Yeah, no, I truly do believe that as well, my friend. I truly believe that sometimes this is all children have to look forward to. And we always want kids to look for hope. And, for me, I think that is so important. One of the things that, I always am concerned with, because like you just said, even for our nonprofit, we're always having to change because the need is changing every single day. But the thing that I've noticed more and more is the issues of trying to help funding. I mean, the sad part is that, we can spend $40,000 in furniture for a governor's office, but we cannot, fund a nonprofit like yours that truly, by the way, is impacting the community and making a change for tomorrow. How do you actually obtain your funding?
So it's the typical way, individual giving. I mean, we started the organization with $100, to be honest with you. Now, and that was the last $100 in my father's wallet. So that's the funnier part of the story, but in a good way. But it's grants, it's, donor dollars, and it's also corporate dollars, so it's a mix of everything. We started with a foundation that supported us from the very beginning. They've grown with us exponentially because they've seen us grow, and more organizations are now jumping on board. But the issue is, and you said it before, Rob, is that, we're not feeding the hungry, and we're not housing them. So our organization is really about social and emotional learning. So it's a very different sometimes when we're filling out grants to really prove how important this is as an outlet for kids and how mentally this really saves lives. And so that's the harder part in the arts. And I think any arts organization would say that. I think it's getting better, but we're still working hard to prove ourselves.
Yeah, I worry a lot the fact that, as we see so many cutbacks in schools throughout our country, where the very first thing that they're cutting the arts. And, I find that just such a devastation, tragedy for our kids who truly have that outlet, who could be the next Beethoven. You just never know. You just never know. But I think that we need to open up the doors and give children every single opportunity they can to find what, as I say to my kids, find your niche. Find your niche. Find the thing that you start to do that you no longer feel like it's work because you have so much love and passion for that particular thing. How many kids do you think that you have helped, Jodi, along the way?
Close to 200, I think,
Wow.
between now and 5 years that we've been a part of it. And I think that too, the performing arts, even if they never go into it, and we know we don't test their ability. They say they want to take drums and they fit the criteria, they take drums. And if they want to move to ukulele, we'll move them to ukulele. But the thing is it teaches them a lot of other things, right? So it teaches them confidence, leadership skills, teamwork, depends on what classes that they take. And also the ability to understand that they're cared for, because the teachers that we put in, where we place these kids, these are exceptional human beings who truly care about children's growth and mental health. So that's the other piece is, yes, if they're another Bach or Beethoven or whatever, awesome. But if they just decide that they're going to do this for 2 years and they walk away feeling more confident, we've done our job.
Yeah, I love that. I absolutely love that. And listen up, everybody. Whether you are in Arizona or you are in Florida, the fact is by impacting a child anywhere in your country is impacting your future. It's impacting your future. So I truly hope that you all visit my friend's website, figure out how you can become a donor, figure out how you can actually help a child, because each and every one of these kids deserve to have the same thing my kids will have if they came to me and said they wanted voice lessons, or they wanted piano lessons, or they wanted to do dance, or they wanted to do drama. I would make it happen. And we all need to step up and do that. But you know what, Jodi, I want to spin off a little bit because, one of the things I want to talk about is today is the day. This is something that you started, not like you have enough on your plate, by the way. I will have to tell our audience and our viewers that I was absolutely humbled to be a part of, today is the day. And could you tell our listeners and our viewers exactly what am I talking about?
Sure. So the Today is the Day Changemakers podcast started in December 2020. And like you, love talking to people and learning more about them and sharing their stories. And I was blessed with incredible people like yourself as a guest and so many others last year. But I thought to myself, if you don't download, stream, or listen on to a YouTube channel, where are those stories going to go? And people need that inspiration, especially during all that's going on in the world. So I created an International Changemakers Forum that brought all of the speakers together to share on topics that matter and that are relevant. And the beauty of it was I didn't put it together. All of us did it together. And that first year represented 6 countries were represented on that Zoom. It was a 5-hour international forum. And what was so incredible is people stayed on. They stayed on. We had 154 people register, and at any time we were way over 100 in that 5 hours. So it was just wonderful. For me, it's all about authentic connection. We always talk about bringing our A game, but that usually means armor. because we are trying to be super professional, and the expectations of what the other person it wants from us in our mind, we tell ourselves our own story, and it may not be what they really want. So we don't get vulnerable. And that limits our connection to them. And so what I wanted to create was a change makers movement of people like yourself who are doing incredible work, but really truly care with their heart and want to connect with other people in that space and throw away the armor and bring their authenticity. So that's what change makers is about.
Yeah, I will have to tell you, I was so impressed. First of all, the fact that there were people from all over the world, there were people from every walk of life in this group. I am telling you, is there a website that we can send our listeners and our viewers to when it comes to the change makers?
Absolutely. Just go to todayistheday.liveit.com. So today is the day, liveit.com. And it talks about all the services I supply through Today is the Day, the Changemakers Forum, Changemakers Podcast, because I'm also, on top of everything else, a certified professional coach and work with clients and do consulting. I wear many hats, but I'm blessed to be able to do that.
And that you do, my friend. I always say I'm busy. I will tell you, you are unbelievably busy because you truly are a change maker. You are someone who has taken your platform and instead of, as I say, pound your chest, you're trying to help pound others. And that is the part that I love. Listen, everybody, this has been an absolutely unbelievable podcast. I know that I talk about this quite often, that I am so fortunate to have such amazing humans in my life. But there is a couple of things that I need you to do. This is your takeaway for today. Takeaway number one, I want you to go and impact a child's life. And how you can do that is please visit my friend's website, okay? Visit her organization. Truly help her fulfill the dreams of these children who we all should want to be a part of. Every single one of us. And there'll be a link on our posting where you can go directly to that. But then also, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to listen to her podcast. I want you to listen to the change makers that she has on. I listen to it. I am so motivated by it. But I also want you to look at the leaders that she brought together. And by the way, do not forget this. Each and every one of us are leaders, no matter what we do. Each and every one of us are leaders. Listen, Jodi, I cannot thank you enough for being on Fostering Change. You are part of the reason that our podcast has still become number one because of good humans coming on, telling their stories and connecting people. Because I truly do believe, Jodi, that people are doers. All of us are doers. We just need to know what to do. So I have one last question to ask you, my friend. What do you think that your dad is thinking right now?
Ooh, okay. I didn't expect that question. I think that he is, it's almost emotional. And it was just his birthday too last week. I think that he is stunned, to be honest with you, because he loved to sing, but he wasn't necessarily the spotlight. But now kids are walking around with his name on their t-shirts and we're talking about him and his pictures all over the place. I think he would, and the other thing I think he would be doing is applauding every single kid who walks through this organization, because he used to sit in the front of the house, because our kids are all performers, my daughters and my niece, and he would be the loudest one screaming, fabulous and fantastic. And I think he's doing that for every child that walks through this program.
Well, I will tell you what, I am applauding you. And I am so lucky that you are in my life and that I get to call you my friend. And I know that your father is applauding you and is so proud of you and your sister for what you're doing. And again, this isn't the last time you all are going to hear from my friend Jodi, because you are going to be back, because I know that you're going to be doing another event. And so I definitely want to have you back. Maybe we could grab a couple of other people. We could do a little forum of, some other people on there and really talk about how you have impacted, because by the way, you have impacted me and you have connected me with people that I never thought I would be connected to. So for that, I love you. Listen, everybody. This is another episode of Fostering Change. Whether you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple or Deezer, or maybe you've subscribed to our YouTube channel and you actually get to watch us, remember, each and every one of us have an opportunity to wake up and be a good human. Now take on the day. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for listening or watching the latest episode of Fostering Change. All of us on our team hope that you've learned something new today and have been inspired to be a good human. Now, just a reminder that you can always find Fostering Change on your favorite channels on Google, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, and others, including, of course, comfortcases.org. I want to give a big thank you to all of you for joining us each and every week. And a reminder that if you have a suggestion for a guest, or maybe you might have a question about today's podcast, or are interested in becoming a sponsor of Fostering Change, please don't hesitate to email me personally at fosteringchange@comfortcases.org. Now, that's it for now. Thanks again, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Take care.